Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is a very informal start to a video and not my normal type of thing, but there's a lot of very exciting stuff happening, so I thought I would fill you in and let you know what's going on. So, about a week ago, Danny, Freddie and I were having a chat on WhatsApp, and the idea emerged out of nowhere to see whether we could each buy motorcycles for less than 1,500 quid and ride them all the way to John O'Groats, right at the tippy top of Scotland. Obviously this is normally the type of idea that's popped into a group chat and then weeks and months go by deliberating whether it can happen and people deciding whether they can or can't come. But within 2 days of having that idea, Freddie and I had already bought a bike for the challenge and Danny was soon after that. So yeah, all super exciting. I've seen the other boys' bikes and I know what they've got. And it's some pretty tough competition, I'm not gonna lie. So without further ado, I'd like to reveal to you the bike that I've chosen for our John O'Groats challenge. Ladies and gentlefolk, let me introduce to you my 1994 Yamaha TDM 850, which is a bike that has really never ever been on my radar and that I still don't know that much about. But here we have a Japan-built 1994 Yamaha with an 850cc parallel twin, 5 valves per cylinder, and around 77 horsepower new and a lot of torque. It's quite a torquey little thing. So these are strange bikes in my opinion. They're quite odd things. Really what you have here is kind of like a weird mix between sports tourer, adventure bike. There's a little bit of like supermoto to it. And it's all just been kind of smashed together in a slightly odd, ungainly 90s fashion. And yeah, back when these were made in 1991, I don't think people really understood what they were. I think Yamaha were onto something, probably 10 years ahead of everyone else by creating a bike like this. Really, there hasn't been much desire for bikes like this until more recently. No, it's all right. That's good. So that's real horsepower there. Proper horsepower, old-fashioned, more my style. Where was I? I'm completely off track now. Now, I will say, this is a very unusual purchase for me. This is not the type of thing that I would normally go for. So normally my first move would be to buy something extremely cool, but unreliable and something that I need to do a lot of work to. But I've gone the other way with this. And it's a bit of an experiment for me because I've bought a bike that needs nothing. I'm pretty confident that it's going to be a reliable companion that will get me to John O'Groats. And yeah, there's nothing I need to do to it, which is so strange for me because normally by now I'd be tearing it down to the frame and repainting everything and yeah, going through and fixing suspension and blah, 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 blah. But I don't have to do anything. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that yet. The other thing that is giving me slight pause and making me question my choice is seeing what the other boys have bought. You might have seen on Freddie's channel that he recently revealed his frankly gorgeous Triumph Thunderbird 900, and there was a lot of bragging and posturing happening before the big reveal, but he has somehow pulled it off. I still have no idea how he's managed to find a bike for that kind of money, but he has. And it's got me questioning, have I gone too safe with this bike? I personally think that this will be the most sensible and correct choice for the kind of journey that we're going to be doing. A lot of motorway miles, fairly big distances in short time, a lot of hours in the seat every day, a little bit of twisty roads once we get up to Scotland, which this will just eat up. This will be perfect for that type of thing. But I don't love it. I don't love it, and that's a very unusual position for me to be in because, yeah, like I say, normally I buy something with my heart. This time I bought with my head, and we shall see how that plays out for me when we set off to go up to Scotland. I've also seen what Danny's bought. and what he's planning. I'm not going to reveal anything to do with Danny's bike until he reveals it himself, but yeah, let's just say that he's gone down a similar route to Freddie, but probably in an even more outrageous way. So I think I've very much swapped ethos with Danny for this trip. Normally Danny will buy something sensible that needs no work and will just do the job. And I will buy something that's a bit more ridiculous, needs a lot of work, but is bought with the heart. And yeah, this time we've swapped over, and we'll see. So you might ask, how much money did I pay for all of this style and luxury and practicality and joy and fun? 1,200 quid on the dot, bosh, out the door, on the road, nothing more. Which I actually think is decent going. For a around 80 horsepower tourer with massive panniers and good amount of kit and reliability and not massive miles, I'm relatively happy with that. Our budget for this trip up to John O'Groats was £1,500. And with that, we need to buy the bike. That is our budget for any modifications or maintenance that needs doing before the trip. And yeah, I have £300 to play with should I need to do anything to it, but I don't think I will. But yeah, generally, I think £1,200 for a bike that I'm confident will get me there and I'll have fun on, and that has all the practicality, I think I've done well. I'm £50 less than Freddie's Thunderbird, so although I'm gutted that I didn't find something quite as stylish and cool as his, hey, that £50 in my pocket, ooh, that feels real good. That feels real nice. So why did I buy this specific bike? There was a few on the market, and this is the one I went for, and that's for a few reasons. I mean, firstly, check out my old man panniers. Look at these things. They're beasts. They're massive. You could fit anything you want in them. You could probably fit a small to medium-sized dog in each of them, which is, I'm not sure how, practical that's going to be, but they're huge. I'm probably not even going to have to bring a backpack with us on our trip up to John O'Groats, which will be lovely. Even more comfort for me as I sit on the back of this bike. The other things, perfect for a day like today where it's about 29 degrees. Heated grips already installed. It's the first time I've ever had a bike that has heated grips, so I'm quite excited about that. The previous owner has already plumbed in some auxiliary power, which is quite neatly done. So I'll be able to charge all my devices, and it's not done that many miles. Since 1994, this bike has covered around 28,000 miles, which, compared to the other boys' bikes, yeah, is way under half the mileage that both of their bikes have done. So that's good. Other things, the previous owner has done a fair amount of work on this bike to get it rideable and reliable. So I'm pretty confident that there's nothing that really needs doing. I've had a quick look over, but I've decided that my whole thing with this is that I'm not going to go crazy like I have done previously. I'm going to trust in it. I'm going to let it do its thing, and we will see where we end up. I thought we'd go for a little ride, and I can chat with you about how I find this little bike. I mean, first things first, having an electric starter, oh my god. After living with the XL 350R for a few months, I cannot tell you how grateful I am to have a push start. it's quite nice. I can see why we moved away from kickstart only. But yeah, no, I mean, that is the good thing about this bike. I'm on it, I jump on it, 2 seconds later, I'm riding along. No stress. So yeah, I mean, round here, these roads are pretty bumpy. There's lots of little holes and divots, and this bike just eats it up. It absolutely eats it up. I barely feel them through the seats, and yeah, that is down to the quite soft suspension that was fitted from factory. Obviously, now this is, God, over 30 years old, so 30-year-old suspension that was already soft from factory is probably even softer now than it was back then, so I'm not complaining. I imagine that should I want to ride this a little sportier, it might become a problem, but so far I've not really been feeling it. I know a lot of owners of these change the suspension out, or they put, you know, heavier fork oil in them. But to be honest, for what I need and for what I'm planning to do with this bike, I'm happy. I'm happy with how it feels. I will say that at 200 kilograms, you know, it doesn't feel like a lightweight, nimble little sports bike, and that's hardly surprising, given the, you know, given the suspension setup and given the geometry and chassis of this bike. It's not going to feel like a sports bike. However, I caveat that by saying it does feel surprisingly sprightly. Given its weight, this can really get a wiggle on this bike, like surprisingly so. You know, my Africa Twin is around, God, what are they? About 60 horsepower. This is only 77 from new, so I imagine it's lost a couple of ponies since then. It feels really quite fast. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with it. You know, if I open it up here, it's like, you know, especially lower down in the rev range. Lower down in the rev range. God, there's a lot of dog walkers about today. I'm going to have to be careful not to flatten a dachshund. I mean, it's definitely got some get up and go. Definitely got some get up and go. I think Freddy's Thunderbird will struggle to keep with this. I know that's not what Freddy's going for, but I need to find benefits for my bike. I need to try and win this challenge somehow, so yeah. Oh my God, what a beautiful day. Ah, stunning. Now, what I will say about this bike is, despite me buying it thinking that there's nothing I'd have to do to it, there has already been a couple of things that I haven't told you about that I've done already. So, I noticed the other day that I turned the fuel tap on, and suddenly I got a rather steady trickle of fuel cascading out of my bike, which was a nice little surprise. So today I took the tank off to have a little look at the what the situation was, and it turns out that every single fuel pipe underneath the tank was loose. Not one of the clamps was done up, which was a bit of a terrifying thing to find, and has slightly made me question the rest of the bike, but I'm trying not to think about it. I'm trying not to think about it too much. Ooh, that's a lot of sand. Lovely. I've got to remember I'm not on off-roading tyres like I am on the XL or the Africa Twin. So no heroics going off into gravel or sand. I've been used to that for far too long. It's been a while since I've had a road bike. So yeah, I fixed the fuel leaks today, and I bought some new fuel hose and some new clamps. So now that is sorted, which is good. But I discovered one other small issue, and that it's I have a massive hole in my exhaust. So where one of the end pipes connects to the link pipe or whatever, yeah, the clamp has a massive crack and a hole in it, so I guess I will be busting out my trusty welder and having a go at filling up that hole, because I definitely do not have the budget to be buying a full exhaust system for this bike, and neither would I probably want to. So the gearbox is quite clunky. Unlike other bikes I've had, you know, when you knock it up a gear, they normally just kind of quietly pop into gear and there's maybe a little tap. But this one, it feels quite hard work. It feels like there's quite a mechanical clunk to it when you switch gears. And I think that's something that's been documented since this bike was new, that the gearbox is perhaps not its finest point, but yeah, I mean, it does the job. It does the job. It goes through the gears. It doesn't hop out of gear. It doesn't miss gears. So I'm not complaining too much. It's just, you know, probably not one of its strongest suits. Sounds okay. It's quite quiet. It's not too much happening. But yeah. Look at that. That's not a bad bike for 1,200 quid, is it? I actually really, to be honest, I know people give it, you know, a bit of stick sometimes, but I actually rather like this design here, the way that this hood just swoops over the twin headlights. I actually think it's quite cool. I think with a different colour scheme, this bike could actually look pretty cool. So yeah, maybe something to think about. Maybe something to think about. So yeah, that's it, my Yamaha TDM 850. Do you think I was too conservative when I made my choice for this trip, or do you think this bike could be the perfect solution to get me up to Scotland without any dramas or hassle? If any of you have ridden a TDM or owned one in the past, let me know, and yeah, look forward to hearing from you in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.